Good morning! This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Gualter.
Welcome back, Alchemists. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter, Amarelo, and the great Vinney Smile Chopra. Vinney, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm so excited. I walked this morning after my surgery. I've been able to walk for 32 minutes this morning, and I go for my therapy also later on today with Danielle. She's amazing. In just 2 months, actually, I'm able to do all these things. I'm able to drive now, and God is great. I just say that.
So, Vinney, next week is Thanksgiving. So, obviously, you're already starting with your gratitudes and being thankful. Today's principle is one that I think a lot of people don't grasp. And in fact, we know that most Americans don't do it well. Most entrepreneurs don't do it well. And most people never do build a business. So, wealth principle starts with build a business, right? You have to build a business. Robert Kiyosaki was one of the first kind of places I heard, wow, everybody should own a business. In America, you should. Everybody should own a business. And you have the book right there.
I have the book right here, brother. It has changed millions of people's lives. I know yours, mine, and lots of people. And it's a great book, a great read, actually, for everybody, because it lets you know why you don't want to be just a W-2 person, not to just work for somebody, produce results 11 times, and you get paid one time. 10 times the company keeps. We talk about that quite a lot. But the key thing is to be able to start a business, which is today's topic, and then get into making money in the business and investing it. So it's also, the whole quadrant is so amazing. Yeah.
So there's a lot in that book. And one of the things that we talk about every single week is, how does a person of wealth keep their wealth? How does a person who is making good money keep their money? Obviously, we talk about how to make more money. That's part of the game of investing in abundance itself. But this concept of own a business is not just about making more money. It actually gives you tax incentives just by owning a business.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yes.
I
Oh,
assume,
yes.
Vinney, most of your investors that you've actually invested with, taken their money and put it into other deals and help them increase their income that way, most of them are business owners, aren't they?
You know what? The exciting part is that a lot of people in my database are entrepreneurs. They are accredited investors who have made, like, they have $1 million net worth or more. I started 17, 18 years back and just wanted to get 100,000 as the minimum that they could invest with me in real estate, commercial real estate, not residential. And that has served my company well, because being an engineer, I always thought logically, if I approach richer people, their peers will also be rich.
That's
And
right.
that has served me. I never went down from 100,000. I even gave more returns, cash flow and equity gains for 100, one tier, 200, another tier, 300, another tier, and 500, another tier. So in other words, the investors who gave me more money, they got more cash flows returns per year and more equity gains. So IRR was better for higher level. So that's what I found, that my investors moved. They had so much money. They moved from 100 to 200, and some moved from 200 to 500. Mind blowing.
You're getting
Why
a better
not?
return
Yeah.
you want to put your money somewhere. And if you get a better return for putting larger dollar amounts in, it makes sense. Now, you have over 700 investors. These are all
Yeah.
accredited investors. These are people who have a net worth of over $1 million, income over
Yes.
$250,000. And that means that you have a very good perspective on what works and what
Yes.
doesn't work, and what their trades
Yeah.
are, what their careers are. And
Yeah.
I know that my guess is your investors are the same as my investors. They're going to be business owners. There'll be some
Yes.
doctors, and there'll be some people who are
Mine
doctors,
too.
but
Yep.
you're also going to
Yep.
find people who are construction company owners. They own
Yes.
construction
Oh,
companies,
sure.
or
Yep.
they own
IT.
dentist
Lot of IT. Lot
practices,
of IT and
a lot of
dentist
IT.
practice. You got it. They are entrepreneurs by heart, and they have built companies. They're directors of companies. They're supervisors, things like that. And they tell other people with their peer group, hey, I'm making, then the other peer group comes. See, I never had a website since until 2015. That's 9 years back. I started 18 years back. It was all word of mouth. Their relatives, their brother, their sister. So that's how our whole mesh got started, the mesh of investors. But having a business is so important because we want to diversify. And you and I've talked about side hustle. We could spend a lot of time on television, a lot of time on looking at negative things and newspaper articles and all that. Or we could use the time for productivity to really add the cash flow streams of income by making ourselves inquisitive and getting deeper into the subject matter, and then finding out what are the best ways to make money, to grow money, let the money grow. See, if the money is sitting in the bank and the inflation rate is now 3.3%, let's say, but it was 7, 8, 10%, you lose the power. That 100,000 next year will be only 90,000 left, buying power. But let's just talk about a couple of other things, if it's okay. I just try to put together some of the books laying around. I've got thousands of books. I've given away so many to the library, but this is a great book, Customers for Life. That is the book by Charles Swindoll that really, Carl Sewell, sorry, I picked up 30 years back, I think. This is an old time book. It really set the stage for me. It's customer for life. You never look at a customer investor, just one time investor. You don't. You look at it 20 times. So if you're
I'm
thinking
buying the
they're
book
going
right
to,
now. So while you're
oh,
telling me, I'm buying the book. So
thank you, brother. He
Good.
talks about, I think that's the book he talks about. Every time you look at a prospect or an investor, you multiply by 20. So they will not give you 100,000, they'll give you 2 million in the due course of time if you take care of them. Why are they customers for life? Because you take care of them. That's the key. Customers, the investors are there, how to turn that one time buyer into a lifetime customer. That's the book right there. Of course, we talk about Think and Grow Rich. Oh my gosh. This book, I bought so many of them. I've given them as gifts to my friends and all. This one is 1978. Oh my gosh. 1978, brother. You could see that right there on the top. I This was the year when I was selling Bible books and encyclopedias. I have kept this book for 47 years in my library. Look at that. Think and Grow Rich.
So my library is showing you. My library is getting moved right now.
Yes,
So I've
yes.
got the shelves back here.
You
So
know,
I
this
appreciate
is
you having the
also
books this morning.
1978. I should write it down. 1976, actually. But I must have bought more books I gave away. This is the greatest salesman in the world book.
Augmented.
It's a beautiful book. Of course, Dale Carnegie's How to Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking. See, because we get paid for speaking. That's all it is. Every professional, any kind of business, any kind of entrepreneur, we get paid for what we speak, what words come out from our mouth is what really makes us very high caliber entrepreneur or earner, money earner, wage earner. Master Riches to Riches by Napoleon Hill. That's another one I should look at. I usually write the date. Oh, look at this here, 1980, when I got married. July of
You
1980,
write
we
the
got
date of
married
when
in.
you read the book? Is that
Yeah, no, when I buy the book.
when you buy
The
the book?
day when I buy the book, I write my signature. I started doing it and putting the date
Now,
so that
why
I
do you do
could
this?
just to remind myself that these principles, Vinny, you learned them 44 years back. Are you applying them or not?
Wow. Okay.
See, that's the thing. Many
Wow.
times we read books and then we throw them away or put them in the dust. But we should
Right.
remind ourselves, pick it up one time. It's amazing how many times I was in the lower, like in a downturn, right? And you pick it up and you open the book and it just hits you right there to stimulate you. That's the key. How to develop self confidence and influence people. in public speaking. I did Dale Carnegie, I did Toastmasters, everything, because that's what really got me going. What year did I buy that one? March of 1980, brother. Look at that.
Wow.
It's my signature and
So this
March
is
of
cool. This is something
1980.
I just learned. I just ordered a bunch of books. but, but
Look
I
at
will
this one here. Are you ready? Pitch
pitch
anything.
anything.
Pitch anything. Amazing book. When did I buy it? Just recently. My signature. And what's the date? November 2019, just before the COVID.
2019.
Yeah, just before the COVID. And November 12th, I bought it. Somebody told me about it. I said, you know what? I want to buy it. So, again, the key ideas, all these things are for us to really become. I'm a product of listening all these different mentors, Jim Rohn to Zig Ziglar to Wayne Dyer to Tony Robbins and all that. I'm sure a lot of other people are too. I'm not unique
Vinney,
in any way.
I want to go back because we've been giving a lot of value, but sometimes the mind doesn't understand why this is important, right? So this principle,
Yes.
build a business. Why is it important to build a business? Not just for making money, but what are the tax benefits that business owners have?
Oh my gosh, are you ready? Tax benefits in USA. Actually, all the tax codes are made for real estate people. Really. Because if you lose in stock market $1 million, right? You can only write off $3,000 in your taxes. But if you lose $1 million
Per
in
year,
real
right? Per
estate,
year.
per year, but if you lose $1 million in real estate due to whatever, you write off the whole $1 million in that year. And
Mhm.
not only that, in real estate, the irony is you get leverage. What that means is when you want to buy Google or Nvidia stock or so many AI stocks are there now, you have to pay full price unless you're buying on margins or option trading, which I don't do option. I do margin a little bit. But the key thing is you have to pay full price. Real estate is the only asset where the banks, the lending institutions, and family offices and all them, they say, you know what? I'll give you money. 70% of the money, you bring 30%. We'll be in partnership together. We'll buy the deal. You're on the loan. You're at the hook with the neck on the loan. But when the appreciation happens with the increase in NOI and cash flow and everything, the bank says, just pay me the loan. I don't want any portion of the gains. This is it's just amazing. How could you get a partner who can give you 70% of the loan and not take anything away from you in the profits? This is mind blowing. Mind
It's
blowing.
it's interesting because we know hard money lenders want 12% and 4 points.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the bank charges you 1 point, sometimes
1%.
2 points,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
they'll give
Yep.
you the loan for 7%, 8%.
Mm-hmm.
And that is today. The hard money lenders, I know some going for 15% right now, 15 and 2,
Yes.
15 and 4. So there's
Yep.
people who will lend to you, but they're taking it all up
Yes.
front. The bank lets
Yes.
you spread it out over 30 years.
Spread
Hard
it
money
out.
wants their money back in
Yes.
6 months, a year
Yep.
max. And then obviously investors just want to get paid on everything. They want to get paid,
Right
interest, they want to get
from
paid
the
on the back
yes.
end.
Yep. Yeah. See, you and I work 70% of the time for
Right,
our value investors. And thank goodness for that, because
right.
if they didn't bring the equity to buy the loan and get the property, $70 million, $60 million deals, I cannot do it. You cannot do it. So we need the investors to come in. They are passive investors, and we do the work and we get paid also 30%. They get paid 70 or 80, 20. They get paid more. I know in some deals lately, we have given 100% to investors. Sure,
Oh, wow.
we have to, the cash flow,
For the
because of
cash
the
flow. Yep.
increase, yeah, cash flow, not the equity gain. We'll
Right.
split that 70-30 still, but the cash flow, we give it to them so that they are able to have the good returns. One more thing I wanted to mention,
Yep.
why real estate, commercial real estate, is such a great asset. The tax law says if you buy a building for $5 million, and let's see, the land is about 500,000. So the structure is 4.5 million, and it's a residential asset. It's going to be zero value in 27.5 years. Hold
Right.
on. So what they're saying is you could depreciate the asset every year on a straight line. You could take the total apparatus or building cost divided by 27.5, or you could take bonus depreciation and cost segregation, we call it, and accelerated depreciation, we call it. You don't have to wait for 27.5 years. You just do it in 5 years or 15 years. So now you are able to bring the value so much down. It's mind blowing.
And for anybody who's listening, just so we're clear, it's not like the building's going down in value. It really isn't, because we're still maintaining the building. We're doing renovations. We're improving it. And after 27 and a half years, the building's still there in most cases. Most of the time, you keep the roof, intact.
Yeah.
So so even though we're depreciating it, it saves us a ton of money on taxes. It's still there. Now, I want to compare this business, this real estate business, to, let's say, running a real estate brokerage, because I hear it all the time. People are like, oh, I'll be like, oh, I'm in real estate, and they're like, oh, you got your, like, cool. I'm thinking about getting my license. That's not quite the same business. We're in the same industry technically, but real estate agency is a sales business that is dependent upon selling. The real estate investment business, and I want to be very clear that we're talking about investments like rental property, because flipping, although technically a form of investment, it actually is more.
It's one deal at a time. Wholesaling, flipping, all those things. Like I mentioned to you, I got my license in 2004 as a broker in California. I have held that for the last 20 years.
I got mine in 2012, so you're ahead of me, Vinney.
But the thing is, I never bought or sold. I think you and I talked about it a few weeks back.
You're the smart one. I spent years buying and selling.
But that's okay.
Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? I wrote this book a few years back. Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children, and the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital if you can't afford it, but I would highly recommend for you to get these, or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education.
We never can change. We can never change the past. See, I talk about this one, brother, because this is the future, this is the present, and this is the past. So when this sand goes through the time machine right there, you cannot change the past. And that's what really keeps me abreast of everything that I do in my life. Is it can change 30 seconds back. Why should I spend time in mulling over the bad things that happened to me? So that's the big thing in the mindset. You just say, what can I do today? Now, a lot of people spend a lot of time in the future. What will get wrong? What will happen if I did this? This is going to happen. And most of the negative things, 87%, never happen. 87% of the things we think will happen in the future never happen. All we can control is today, this moment, these 10 hours, today's date, before Thanksgiving. How are we spending that time? 80-20 principle, the Prado principle, we talk about all those things. Maybe one day we should do a whole broadcast on all the life principles, law of attraction, law of manifestation, law of thinking. What you think is what you achieve, and believe what you believe is what you achieve. All those things.
Oh, we got to put them all together. Parkinson's law, the work expands to the amount of time allotted. Yeah.
All those. Let's go back to one more thing. I'm sorry. Again, the depreciation is a paper loss. Everybody.
Loss. Not a real
paper
loss.
loss. Not a real loss. It's a paper loss on the P&L. We show all the profit, the revenues coming from the business, any kind of business. Expenses go out. We got whatever is left at the end of the day. You take out mortgage, loans, whatever, capex in real estate, whatever. Now you take that money to the bank. So it's a cash flow. LLC could be cash flowing like millions of dollars, but because you took the depreciation, tax expert or CPA took that depreciation in there, minus 4 million or 2 million, now the whole LLC becomes negative at the bottom. And that negative is then passed out to limited partners as passive income loss, it's called. I just wanted to clarify that. And for us, it's active income loss because we are the general partners, we are GPs and the LPs, right? And the key thing is that minus number, our investors can bat against their positive passive incomes from other properties. I'm not CPA or attorney, by the way, and neither
not
is
a financial advisor, not a CPA,
advisor,
not an attorney, not legal advice.
No legal advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes
We're talking about what
only.
we've done. That's it. We're telling stories. So
and
as we're diving into the importance of owning a business, obviously the tax strategies are major, right? If somebody owns a business,
huge.
Even if you're a real estate agent and you're an agent, you can write off your car mileage. You can write off the money you spend on signs, the money that you're spending on any kind of marketing or education. Your education can be written off. When you buy these books are write-offs.
Everything.
If you own a business.
Professionals, legal. I remember I attended a seminar. I don't know which one it was. They say the board of directors can go on a cruise over the weekend if they have the full intentions of meeting and voting on certain things about the business. It's amazing. You could go out anywhere in the world. I'm not dictating that. You could write off your vacations and all that. All these laws are there, but you got to really do. And getting children to participate in advertising, you can get, I was told, 33,000 credit or something in the taxes, 18,000 certain age and all that.
I'll have to look into it because it's time to put Emerson to work.
Brother.
He's 4 months old. It's time to collect a check, bro. Come on. You're part of the family. Let's do this.
Exactly. So there are so many great avenues. I would definitely say kudos to my CPAs, my attorneys, because they are the backbone of any business. And sometimes we feel that we don't need a strategist, tax strategist. I say you cannot afford not to, because you cannot do anything about the taxes after December 31st. Now is the time. November, December is the time to make decisions. What to sell, what to buy, what to do, so that you can be really putting that less taxes on the payment of taxes when you file 2025.
For each of you listening right now, this is 40 days left. This is the call to arms to get your tax planning right, because we're almost now past the point of where you could actually purchase a property. Unless you already have it under agreement, we're pretty much past the point of acquisitions.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing hard money or something small, like it's the only thing I could see left would be getting into somebody's LP deal if they're going to close before the end of the year. So you're really now at not a lot of options for cost segregation, not a lot of options for, you'd have to spend the money. So you could do a big renovation now, So if you're looking at like you need a loss, don't spend it in January, spend it this year. Like those are the things you got to now start looking at. You have 40 days left to figure out what to do with any kind of major
Another one I do want to say, charitable funds are really great, by the way.
charitable
My
funds.
very
Yep.
good friend told me about it. I do the Vanguard. So you could stash away 50,000, 100,000, get a deduction for this year, but then you could pay out to your charities next year. I love that idea. So that's something, but please do your own research. I'm not advocating, but then you're able to put that in that variable. I think it's a Vanguard trust. I think we have two of them, different places. So then you let the money make money, but you give out to charities also. It's very nice. So that can be a good avenue for some people who want to save on taxes for this year.
Wow. So there's a lot of reasons to own a business. The taxes are one of them. The income option is obviously one of them. So
Yeah.
for people who are thinking about right now about should I start a business or should I buy real estate? I would say what I've heard from Vinny is that start a real estate business. The RALs, residential assisted livings, right now are
Mhm.
actually a business that has real estate. And I'll give you my final reason for owning a business that is real
Yes.
estate space is many businesses are sold at their value to EBITDA. So a tax
Mhm.
accountant, I just had this conversation with this really smart tax guy. And, it's a big
Yes.
company. And he was saying, look, tax professionals, they sell their business at 1.5 EBITDA. He said, I realized that was a failing business. That didn't make sense, right? I
Mhm.
wasn't building anything of
Mhm.
value. And he shifted his tax consulting businesses, his tax CPA business to being a tax consulting business,
Advisory
an
consulting and
advisory business.
advisory. Yes.
Those
Yes.
sell at a 4 to 5 times EBITDA. And there was another one
And
he talked about what actually sells at a higher multiple. And I wish, Vinny, I wish I remembered what he said because now, but the point was that he had discovered same industry, but different components to his business were worth significantly more.
wow. Yes.
And we all
So
have that. We all have that
we
streak.
do. We do. I do want to clarify that was Vanguard, Vanguard, charitable trust. Just
Charitable
anybody who,
trust.
charitable trust with Vanguard company. There is also lots of different ones, but this one has done very well for us.
Still
Thank
not
goodness.
financial advice, but now you
It's
look.
not at all.
Now you can go do your own research.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, for somebody who's looking at the value of their business, so end of because we can't run these businesses forever, right? There's nobody who's going to be
No.
doing it forever. Even Vinny Chopra at some point is going to say, "Hey,
Succession.
Monica's going to take
Succession
over and
plan.
run the show," right?
Yep. Yep.
But you
Yep.
already have your succession plan built.
See,
What?
that's the thing. You got to be always working in the business or over the business or at the business to sell it someday or make it so great that when you leave, your inheritance, your children, your grandchildren would be able to really benefit from it. That's how we are. That's who we are. And we should be always in the pursuit of making your business bigger and better and need to pivot. Wow, I came across this great video from a billionaire, and he was talking about, he said, if entrepreneurs don't pivot, they die.
Yeah.
The businesses die because they get into the rut of staying with the old values, old systems, old everything, and they don't pivot and change. So that change is needed. See, change is always needed for us to be better. If I'm better today from yesterday, it's going to require change in my thinking, in my things, which I didn't do right last week, 2 weeks back, or last year, or whatever. Right. So the key thing is change and pivoting.
So what you just said, and for you first at the house, Vinny just shared that change is necessary as an entrepreneur. I'm going to share with you why it's necessary because changes will inevitably happen. But Andrew
Mhm.
Carnegie used to study evolution. So he used to study evolution from who was the person who Darwin. So he used to read Darwin's books, studied
Darwin.
evolution,
Yep.
and Andrew Carnegie used to say that he found peace of mind knowing that all is good because all grows better. So that was one of
Wow.
his
Wow.
statements, and I've contemplated it quite a bit. And what basically he was saying is that business has to evolve because if business doesn't
Yeah.
evolve, it eventually gets eaten by something else. There'll always be
Hmm.
somebody doing something technology or it'll be competitors. They'll always do something better. And our job is to
Hmm.
fill a void. And if there's a void, we fill it. But once
Yeah.
we've filled it, even our own business can start eating itself. And so we have to
Yes.
constantly
Yes.
pivot and adjust because eventually we consume all the products that are necessary in the area. And once we've done that, you have to pivot. You have to adjust to make more room to get that creative abundance mindset. You have to keep
So true.
changing and adjusting to
Mhm.
the bigger gaps. Like where now is the customer not taken care of? Because once you take care of all your customers, what do you do next? You got to take care
Oh
of
my
right
gosh.
next levels.
I'm so glad you said it. Branding, personal brand or business brand. Who is your avatar? Where are those people? Where are the revenue driven? Any kind of company has to have a marketing, and the engine of that train is marketing and sales. That's what it is right there. So the value system changes of the customers, and where you find them changes, how to get to them changes. So why are we stationary? If everything is changing in the marketplace, we need to change.
That's the truth. Yeah, Vinny Chopra just said it. You heard it here. Like entrepreneurs, real estate investors, as the market changes, things shift. You're not a tree. You're
Mhm.
not stuck in the ground. You're not a building. You're not stuck there.
Mm-mm.
And even when you
Mm.
are stuck with real estate, because it is a longer term hold, you can adjust your strategy. You can pivot.
Yes,
I
yes.
just I was talking to my property manager out in Decatur, Illinois, and we had a quick conversation where I was like, "Hey, look, I want these units filled. I got 7 vacancies. Fix that.
Mhm.
Fix it. I want it fixed." And
Yes,
we were talking about
yes.
rent collection. I think I got $29,000 behind. I have
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh
14
wow.
tenants owe me $29,000, Vinny. So I called up and I said, "Hey, look, they're
What's
going to
going
pay.
on? Yeah,
Yeah,
what's going
what's
on?
going on? They got to pay me. Right? It's one of
Yeah.
them. Four of them were 5 months behind me. I was like, why aren't they gone? Right? And it was a list of not having one standard. There's one standard I've always
Yeah.
had in all my properties when I self-managed, and that was
Mm-hmm.
on the third I evict. On the third, the notice goes out. And
Yes.
this property management company said, we kind of work with them, we kind of work with them, we kind of work with them.
Mm.
And they never start the process until they're 2 or 3 months behind. And I said,
No. Oh, it's so
there, one
difficult for
standard
them to
changes the
catch
whole
up.
the whole thing.
For sure.
So
When we
we got
had
to
so many
adapt, we got to
units.
adjust.
Yeah, 8,500 unit was our peak. 8,500, we didn't go more than that. Now we have much less.
Still a
We
lot
have
of units, Vinny.
300. It's a lot of units, brother. I know in one we have 351 units now. In Houston, I think 319 in Austin, all that, then 94 and 98 and all. But the key thing is you got to have the standards, because what happens is one resident falls behind, next door neighbor asks them, they meet or somehow they say, oh, you know what? I can live a little bit longer now. So that's what happened maybe at your apartment. I'm not sure. But by
Sounds about right. Sounds up.
dropping, those standards, got them caught in the rut
Yeah,
of taking care of not the rent they should pay first, but to spend money in frivolous things. I don't know. I don't know. Unless they
probably.
are unemployed.
That's right.
Yeah. But
No, they
maybe
all have
they just
jobs. I
see,
start
look at
calling
that.
myself. It's
Hold
only
on.
34 tenants, Vinny. There's only 14 in
Oh,
behind. So I just pick up the phone yesterday and I start calling them. Guess what?
totally.
All great
What's
people, all willing to
Oh,
pay.
look at you. Oh,
All I had to do was listen to them and say, you know what?
yeah.
I'll get the screen replaced. No problem. Can you pay rent tomorrow? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I've been meaning to. I wasn't sure
Oh,
if you guys were
okay.
listening to me. Now that the owner called, I
Ah,
feel better about it.
yes.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Like, come
I
on.
oh my gosh. Oh my God. I'm glad you took upon it, because in many times I had to get into the thick and thin with my leasing agents, with my managers, with my regional, with payroll, everybody, HR, because when your business needs you, you need to put out, you need to show it as an example, as a leadership example. Hey, you know what? You messed up, but let's not blame each other, but let's just get it fixed. I like that. Yeah,
So you
I like
inspired me last week. We had the same
that.
conversation. You said this to me last week, and I said, I'm putting on my calendar. I did it, and what a
Mhm.
difference. Just me getting involved at that really basic level
Awesome.
and be able to
Yeah.
call the manager and say, hey, look, I spoke to this person, I spoke to this person, they're ready to pay. I need you to do this. It changed the whole dynamic. They're like, wow, this guy's in it. He's in it with me, and they're gonna do it. So thank you, Vinny. I appreciate that.
Oh no, I appreciate you. The key thing I would like to tell every entrepreneur who's watching us, who's listening to us later on, the key thing is, as leaders of the business, as the CEO or the founder, we need to get in the thick and thin many times, We cannot just give responsibility away or delegation, I call it, and then we don't ask people, and then we zap up after. Because if they are not trained, we hire the right people. But if they cannot do the job, we need to fire them or train them. Those are the two things only. Will do factors, can do factors, right? So can do factors are so important, but will do factors are even more important. Are they motivated? Are they representing ourselves at that apartment complex or hotel, which I'm buying now, hotels and developing hotels and all, and RALs, the residential assisted livings? My daughter and I are so much involved with all these 5 months have been wonderful. And now we had the open house day before yesterday. All the placement agents who came loved the homes in Scottsdale, which is furnished right and everything. And we have movies now. We had professional photographers show up today. My daughter
Vinny, did
booked
you
him.
just drop a little nugget?
Yeah.
Everybody who's on the call, listen to what Vinny just said. You had multiple agents. These are marketing agents. These are people who are going to fill the
Yes.
units for you. You didn't have one
Yes.
person. You didn't hire one person.
Yes.
You brought a bunch in.
65 emails went out, brother. And we had food and cocktails, like not the hard liquor, but otherwise punches and all. And it was from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, open house. And we invited them to come to get excited to see the real product. And then our community manager showed all the 10 rooms of this RAL, 9.5 bathrooms. Everybody got so excited. And now we have digital copies of the brochures and website and everything. And now we made a movie, which we did it unprofessionally. We made it, but my editors edited it. We are presenting that to give out to the families who want to, even they cannot come to the location, but they could watch the whole movie right on their screen, and they could see the whole residential assisted living, how it looks inside and bright and all the furniture and how the rooms look and everything. So that's the key to success, is to really look into the leasing of your apartment complex.
Yeah.
In residential assisted living, it's 10 units, but it's 10 bedrooms. That's going to bring $5,000 rent per
It's
bedroom.
worth spending a little money on the
It's
punch and
worth
the
spending.
food.
You got it, brother.
I love this. I love this. All right, Vinny. So we're gonna head out of here. For each person who's listening, we do this every Thursday at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast and 12
Yes.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time
Eastern
on the
Standard
East
Time.
Coast. This is Abundance Thursdays. We get to hang out with Vinney Chopra and talk about one of the principles every single week. It's absolutely fantastic. I know Thanksgiving's coming up, and Vinny and I are in debate whether we're going to do it. We did agree. We will be here this Thursday
Yes.
coming up. Vinny, what's one
We
piece of
want to.
advice to entrepreneurs before we jump off?
This is that time of the year when we need to really pay gratitude to all the people in our businesses, our associates, our investors, and our family, especially. Spend the time wisely. That's so important. I think we can make lot and lot of money, but what we do with the time and money is so important. So this holiday season, Thanksgiving all the way to December, please spend special time with your loved ones, because that's what I'm realizing at 72. I'm so fired up to really make memories, and that's why I did the knee surgery, so that we could travel more and things like that and make memories. So please make memories with your loved ones.
Cheers to your success. From your choice. Always work with the best. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.